Howdy y'all, Moloch's Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Alright, so I'm out here. I am looking for coal. And... oh, look at this place. Little places to search. This looks like a little place to search. Okay, first off, let's make a... bedroll. You know what else I was thinking? I was thinking about how difficult some of these places have been lately. And I was wondering if I shouldn't make spikes. And maybe try to use spike traps as a tool. I used to. I don't know why I stopped. Let's snag some more lumber here. Oh, I finished watching Dark. Man, that was good. Spoilers for Dark. That was real good. One of the best time travel type movies or shows I've ever seen. It was so good. The ending was a little rushed, I felt. Quick, face my spike traps. Really? What if he's not smart enough? Ow. What if he's not smart enough to come near my spike traps? What if he's really, really dumb? Okay, downside of spike traps. I keep touching my own spike trap. How am I supposed to practice using spike traps if you're too dumb to walk around things? Come here and touch this spike trap I made. Oh. Where'd you come from? Are you dead? Well. This one's too dumb to get out there. I need better class of zombies. I don't really want that. That sounds horrible. But yeah, Dark is really good. It's kind of crazy how long it takes to actually get to the Alright, I don't need spike traps, I just need a big gate. And then they're too dumb to walk around the gate. Oop, and then I touch my own trap again. So I think that works pretty good, as long as I don't touch it, which I have over and over again now, so pretty wounded. Does this help at all? Yeah. But yeah, it's got a really slow start, which might make it better. Um, but you don't even get to like any of the time travel stuff until like the end of season 2, basically, which is a little crazy. I mean, there's some quite early on, but you just for any explanations. I mean, there's no explanations at the beginning, which make it a little crazy. Um, and but yeah, it was super convoluted. It was a little bit. Ethan Hawke was in a time travel movie once, based off a short story, um, which was weird. It was a little bit like that one, but better detailed. Um, and honestly, it's so convoluted that I'm not sure I quite understand the crisscrosses that happened in it without like writing stuff down. I did look up basically a family tree so that I could sort of understand what was happening. Um, but yeah, it was interesting. So the what it starts out with is there's this nuclear power plant, and the power plant is I think it's being decommissioned, and I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what the. Okay, I didn't expect a zombie to drop out of the ceiling. This doesn't seem like the kind of place where there'd be enough room to hide in the ceiling. I got distracted by this king dog photo. Oh, this is, why are they so stingy with medicine? I need medicine. Clearly, I need medicine. I'm at 15% now. Probably need like 2. I don't. Have I seen an antibiotic yet? Athletic gloves. Okay. What was I wearing? Nothing? Oh, they popped up over here. I was wearing biker gloves. Oh, which give me better melee damage. Yeah, I probably keep better melee damage. Um, and so, um, there's this kid who goes off with his older brother, and his older brother's going out to hang out with his friends in the forest, and there's this cave near the power plant, and so, um, they're gonna go hang out at the cave, right? And I don't know if there's a weird noise. It's been a while since I watched the first season. And but the kid eventually goes in the cave and vanishes. And so then they're looking for the kid and they can't find him. And then there's like a homeless guy that pops up, um and there's like the police chief is having an affair, and uh there's another kid that went missing, but I can't remember what happened to the kid. And then this other guy uh leaves a cryptic message and hangs himself. Um and so it's all really confusing because you don't know what's going on. But it's good, just confusing. And then there's this whole thing where uh this other kid's body appears at the does he appear in the cave or the like I said, it's been a while since I watched the first season. This body appears. I can't remember if it appears at the cave or if it appears at the. I think it appears at the bomb shelter. And so there's like this bomb shelter near the everything that's going on. And the problem is that the kid who appears has no identification, and the stuff that's on him is from the 80s, but the show is taking place in 2019. And so people are confused as to what's going on. Um, and so then uh, I feel like that's the end of the first season. And then the there's this kid the one whose father committed suicide. He's in love with this other girl, or he's in love with this girl. I don't know why I said other girl. He's in love with this girl, and his I can't remember how this goes. He's in love with the girl who's yeah, he's in love with the sister of the kid who vanished. Uh, and so they go out a little bit and in for the first season. And then in season 2, they show you what happened to the kid who vanished. He he reappeared in the 80s, and he doesn't know what's going on because obviously uh okay. I just wonder if this place is ready to be searched for books again. And so it's here's where it gets crazy, okay? So in the his name is Mickle, okay? And then it turns out that Mickle goes back to the 80s and he can't return. Oh, that was there's another one that's similar that I liked, but it's a movie instead of a 3 season series that I watched not too long ago on HBO. I don't remember what that one was called. But anyways, so it turns out that Mickle, who had gone back to the 80s, is stuck there and he lives his life out, and he changes his name gets changed to Michael. And Michael is the father of uh of the one kid. And so the kid, he's in love with what's basically his aunt. Uh, and so that's what the show is. Is it's this huge paradox thing where all the families involved in the time travel stuff only. Oh yeah, there's nothing here. Um, all the families involved in the time travel stuff in the show only exist because of. Hey, you know what? I was looking at those magazines, buddy. Okay. I was looking for boxes to loot. So I need books. And so um then it turns out that the homeless guy in the first season is actually the adult version of the kid whose father died. Uh and and so he's there to make sure that the timeline happens the way it's supposed to. Like he knows he's part of it. And so you find that out in season 2, and then at the very end of season 2, um, he shows up and he kills the girl. The homeless guy, the adult version of Jonas is the kid's name. The adult version of Jonas kills the girl. I forget what her name is. Is it Martha? Might be Martha. So adult Jonas kills teenage Martha. And then a different teenage Martha shows up and takes teenage Jonas with a time device. And they'd showed a time device earlier in the series that was like this weird contraption left with this scientist named Tenhauser, and or no, he was a clock watchmaker. And so Tenhauser had actually made the device, but he couldn't power it because it used this cesium stuff that was from the radioactive waste from the power plant that was being decommissioned. And so someone gave him the plans for the time device, and then later, once they had access to the stuff, they came back to get their time device. Only it was like this big old box. And her time device was... Dude, I didn't even loot all this place. And then, oh, dude, look at my poor... And then season three gets crazy because at this point you've only seen like the 2019 era, the 1980s era, and then like the 1950s era. And then at the end of season, is it the end of it? Oh yeah, because she takes him. So then they introduce the 2050s era, where like uh the huge apocalypse event has happened because of the decommissioning of the nuclear power plant. And so basically what happened was uh, they were hiding the waste, and um, because the power plant was being decommissioned, they moved the waste back to one of the decommissioned towers that was going to be filled in with cement. And the police in 2019, 2020, somewhere in there now, uh, were looking for the missing kid, and they thought they had evidence about the missing kid being somewhere at the power plant. And so they went to the power plant and they demanded that the all right, well, they demanded to be shown around the power plant, and so they I walked all over the place, buzzard. And you didn't show up until I started fighting this guy. What the heck? Okay. And so the police made them open the canister, and when they opened the canister, the stuff inside the canister reacted to uh, the operational part of the power plant, and it caused this giant time bubble thing to spill out, and basically destroyed the town, and apparently damaged the entire planet. In season 3, they talk about how they think that all of time stopped for a split second. And so because time stopped for a split second, dude, did I put my bandages? I thought I had 5 bandages on my hotbar. Did I put them on my bike? Did I accidentally use them up? What the heck? Workstation crafting, that's a good one. Seeds. I can make aloe seeds. That's not what I'm after, but let's get me some more seed books. Harvesting tool, that's a good one. Crit resist. That one doesn't really look like my kind of thing. Oh, I need this, though. Night Stalker. Do an extra 50% sneak damage to sleeping victims. Okay, well, I mean, how often is that going to even happen? Okay, I have 43 armor crafting from books. So I found 43 armor crafting out of 100 books. But I don't even have 11 seed books yet. Shotgun crafting. At least I'm only at 7 shotgun crafting. Okay, searched all that. Okay, there's nothing hiding in there. Well, it's a pretty good little search for me today. And so the when adult Jonas killed teenage Martha and second teenage Martha showed up, she grabbed teenage Jonas and jumped him out just before all that happened and destroyed everything. And so it's pretty crazy at that point. And so then she takes Jonas to a different version of the world, and yeah, and so then at that point, they've introduced all these other crazy versions of. I think there's teenage Jonas, adult Jonas, um, and old man Jonas, and uh, old man Jonas is trying to. Okay, okay. So it all comes down to. I think last time I talked about this, I mentioned that there's like two different worlds, and the people are fighting to save their version of the world, and so Jonas is trying to save his world, and then Martha, who showed up to grab Jonas just before the event went down, she's trying to save her version of everything because in Jonas's world, Martha's dead, and in Martha's world, Jonas is dead. And and adult Jonas killed teenage Martha from World One, and then in World Two, teenage Martha killed teenage Jonas. Uh, and so oh, I should have grabbed my stuff. Dang it. Well, here, let's get something to eat quick. And then the woman who's running the power plant, Claudia. Was it Claudia or Regina? No, I think the one who's running the power plant is Regina, and so her mother, Claudia, had disappeared, and so old Claudia shows up, and old Claudia is trying to alter everything because in her world, she had killed, or well, her daughter Regina had died, and so, but her daughter had died after the catastrophe, and so she was trying to figure out how to save her daughter. And so then you got Jonas, who's trying to figure out how to save Martha. I don't know why Aloe is in here. You shouldn't be in here at all. And then you've got Martha, who's trying to. Well, eventually she's trying to save her and Jonas's child. And so there's like three versions of Martha and Jonas's child operating at counter to most of the people. I think they work for old Jonas, and so there's all these different versions of everybody. So there's young, usually middle aged, and then old, or not middle aged, but like in their 20s. There's like teenage versions or child versions, and then either in their 20s or 30s, whatever versions. And then there's old versions, like in their 70s, 60s. Um, there's this one guy, the police chief. He goes through the time travel thing. It's a tunnel. It's a tunnel for a lot of the show. But there's also like two devices that also, well, maybe three devices that allow you to time travel as well as the tunnel. So most people use the tunnel because they don't have access to devices. And so the police chief goes through the tunnel, and he winds up in the. I think he winds up in the 20s, and uh, and so he doesn't realize what's happening, And so he's looking for his kid who's gone missing, which is Mikkel. And so he actually ends up being there for the rest of his life. And so in the 80s, he's an old man in a mental institution. Um, it's super crazy. And everybody's crisscrossing, and like everybody is related to their own ancestors, or like their okay, everybody's related to your own ancestor. Um, but there's this girl in the show, and um, her her mother is her own daughter, which is crazy, and so she's like specifically introduced by other people to her child's father, and then they take that child and they drop that child off. Do they drop the child off? I don't think they ever show that, but the child ends up with Tenhauser, the scientist, watchmaker guy, and then he doesn't know who her family is at all, and but he raises her, and so she doesn't even know her own backstory. And so it's all sorts of crazy stuff like that. It was pretty good. I feel like the ending could have used a little more work. But you end up with Martha. Like I said, Martha trying to save her world, Jonas trying to save his world, and then Claudia shows up at the end within the last couple of episodes, and she's like, everybody's wrong. What we actually need to do is we need to stop the initial event from even happening. And so Martha Martha 2 and Jonas 1 go to the power plant to try and stop it. And but that's not the event. That's the event that they've been told, because everybody in the show, basically, from all the different versions, are just trying to keep what they call the knot going. And so old Jonas believes that if he can kill his and Martha's child, that will stop the time travel stuff. And so he attempts that, but it doesn't work. And then uh and then Martha Martha is trying to keep everything going just the way it's always gone, so that everybody lives the same lives over and over again in the time travel loop that they have going for the show. There's my bandages. How did I put my bandages in the wrong spot? It's so weird. I must have moved them out for something and then just didn't put them back. And then, like I said, Claudia shows up at the end, and Claudia's like, yeah, no, we need to break the whole thing, because it all comes down to the original world, which doesn't really get introduced until the very end of the show, which is probably why it feels a little weird. And I have so many corn seeds now. I need corn seeds. What about potato seeds? 1 potato seed. See, look at this. I've only got three corn at the moment here, and I can't make corn seeds. And I've got 1 potato plant. Okay. Listen, guys, I need to be able to punch, okay? And so what had initially happened was in original worlds, which neither Martha, none of the Marthas and none of the Jonases are from. Um, so in their original worlds, uh, Tenhauser's son, daughter-in-law, and grandchild had died, and so he spent the rest of his life figuring out a way to bring them back. And so Tenhauser, the watchmaker, is the person who originally broke the worlds trying to bring his child back. And so they had to go back and stop stop them from dying, basically, and reset the whole world. Raw food is what I'm after, right? I want to know if I've got... Yucca seeds, that's what I'm looking for. I think I can make yucca seeds. I know I can make aloe seeds. I'll bring these with me in case I need more. Also, I need to figure out which direction is my garden. Oh, but I don't have enough room for the aloe seeds, it looks like. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, I need 2 more. Recipes, aloe seeds, because I just got that ability. But yeah, it was really enjoyable, and I liked all the crisscrossing. I liked the everybody's got. By the end of 3rd season, not only are there different ages of people from different times moving about and interacting with themselves and each other, but there's 2 different worlds interacting with each other, and yeah, and so you got like there's the priest and the priest. There's like 3 different versions of the priest, or 2 different versions of the priest. There's like maybe 3 different versions of the priest. I think the priest is Noah. And then there's like old Martha, middle-aged Martha, young Martha from World 2, which actually might be the 3 Marthas, and then young Martha from World 1. There's like 2 or 3 different versions of young Jonas. There's a couple different versions of Mikkel. There's 2 different versions of the police chief operating. They've got 2 different versions of his wife. They've got 2 different versions of Hannah. 2 different versions of I can't remember what her name is. She's mute in one world, and then her sister's mute in the other. It's pretty well done. I really enjoyed it. So if you like time travel stuff, I'd definitely check it out. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to call it a day. So be better than small things, lean in the light, and I will talk to you later.